Hello everyone and welcome back. Before we get started today, I just want to say thank you so much for all the feedback and support on the most recent video. It seems this format is fairly well liked and it's something we're going to keep doing. So let's just jump into it. This is going to be the NADPC Week 5 recap. There's nothing like starting out the week with some lower division NA Dota. And in game 1 of our first series, a last pick Viper from Electronic Boys gave them a serious draft advantage against the cores of 5-man Midas. The global presence from the Nature's Prophet and the Spirit Breaker added so much strength to the catch and the chase of this Viper lineup. Electronic Boys managed to close out game 1 pretty easily with a sizable net worth advantage thanks to the Kunkka and Nature's Prophet. The Barracks double buyback here. Sunstrike! Oh, snipes him. Now in game number 2, a much better draft from 5-man Midas led them to having some pretty strong lanes. Red 2, however, managed to make some strong plays on the puck, capitalizing on some overextensions from 5-man Midas and catapulted himself to the top of the net worth chart fairly early in this game. Couple 1 fights from 5-man Midas in the mid game tilt things back in their favor, but as we approached late game, this is where speed on this PA really shined. He became too difficult for them to deal with, and he cut through every single hero he saw, giving Electronic Boys the 2-0 win they need to keep their tournament lives alive at 2-5. ENM is just all alone, and the Ice Blast comes out. That's gonna be a dieback, baby. Now for Tuesday, we're back at our double headers. It's Sad Boys versus The Cut and Arkosh Gaming versus Picado Squad Gaming. Now, for Sad Boys, this series is vitally important. The Cut have already been relegated to Division 2 based on current standings, but the Sad Boys could force a tiebreaker for 7th if they win their last 2 series. And in game 1, Sad Boys have a really good draft. Fear pops off on the Weaver, while the Cut weren't able to catch their footing at all. The overall damage and control from Sad Boys was too much for the Cut as they get themselves their victory in the first game. It looks like the end of this game. Dragon Tail comes out, the stun, double kill for the boy, Lil Nick. Stuck inside his fountain against some big, nasty people. Now in game 2, the Cut were off to a really good start, winning the CS battle and claiming first blood in the offlane on Lone Druid. However, a mid-game update from Valve about this new upcoming supporters club broke spectating and client, forcing me to do some pretty creative work, I would say, for the cast.
Spells I have that can just push lanes.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, gods. That's actually really good insight. Actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, that's the wrong button. As the game continued, Ryoya's Ember Spirit was too good at dealing with the drought as he carried Sad Boys to their overall first win in this DPC season. Holding them in place, Ryoya refreshes, the BKB's out, 5 more Redmonds, he throws the ball at the drought, he gets him, Lil Nick trying to TP out, but it's not gonna happen. Now our second series, Arkosh versus PSG. In game 1, Canis Vulpus made some really good early rotations that picked off the Drow Ranger, which began their snowball of the game. Pale Horse on the Lifestealer was left to his own devices and became a completely unstoppable late game carry. Combined, these two dominated PSG for an early game 1 victory. Canis Vulpus actually has cheese, so I don't think he cares all that much. Yeah, oh my lord, the fatal bonds. As for game 2, what is there to be said besides Pudge and more Pudge? I love this hero. He is my absolute favorite and I love watching him. Gremlo starts the games with 0 items but rushes a Vanguard. Him and Crow on the sniper absolutely destroyed this safe lane. There was no chance at all, and PSG did not have any idea how to deal with such a wonky draft. After this, Arkosh get themselves another quick 2-0 victory here in the lower division. He does have Bloodstone heal and 7 or 9 launch. Where is his hero right now? Okay, that was a little bit interesting. Gremlin, okay. They need to tap out. They need to tap out, actually. Now, we've returned after the midweek break. It's Thursday. We've got 2 upper division series happening. It's Evil Geniuses versus Undying and Sad Boys versus Quincy Crew. Now, Evil Geniuses versus Undying has to be one of the most hyped up series of the season. Looking back at season 1, we had a 3-way tiebreaker between EG, Quincy Crew, and Undying that left EG and Quincy Crew moving on to the major. So you can imagine how hungry Undying is going to be this time around. Unfortunately for them, EG continues their dominance in game 1 off the back of an amazing Ember performance by Abed, while Ice on the Broodmother choked out the entire map after taking a tier 2 tower just before the 11-minute mark.
Really bring him down, but it came at the cost of 3. And look up top. I mean, Ice is taking the tower.
Now, as we get to game 2, you can really see how good EG is as a team. Undying is incredibly skilled, but EG just seems to be on another level. They just play a faster game than anybody else, and they pressure the high ground before the 20-minute mark once again. They win the lanes, they target objectives with precision to further increase their pressure on the map and on their opponents. EG dominate the series once again, taking a 2-0 to place themselves back on the top of the NA DPC.
Otto underneath the deadly move. He's had enough. He's super pissed.
Now, in our second series of the day, Sad Boys versus Quincy Crew, Game 1 might have been one of the most rough games of the season so far. We haven't seen anything quite this one-sided in a while. Quincy Crew started this game off going 22-0 before Sad Boys finally claimed their first kill. However, this is North America, the land of PMA and Sad Boys. They refuse to surrender. They do their best to try and take some fights, but they are way too far behind to be competitive in this game. Quincy Crew decided to finally end this by taking Roshan and walking high ground to claim themselves a 27-minute victory.
He's got a Desert to go with this armlet. He's actually starting to scale. Oh, okay, until the Witch's Curse comes in.
Now in game number 2, Quincy Crew are off to a similar start. They win all 3 lanes, managing to edge out Sad Boys in the team fights early on. Having such a huge gold advantage early in the game was too much for Sad Boys to deal with, giving Quincy Crew full control of the map and closing out this series with an even faster game 2. Quincy Crew now sit tied in first place of this DPC at 5-0 next to Evil Geniuses.
Foil the TA or the Hoodwink or the Lesh, right? Necropost is like the worst target, and they call it, they tap out.
It's now time for the weekend as we approach Saturday and we get our 2 lower division series, and the lineup for this one is Wind and Rain versus 5-Man Midas, the Electronic Boys versus Felt. Now, the series between Wind and Rain and 5-Man Midas resulted in a forfeit as War was unable to field a team in time. Some unexpected circumstances forced Wind and Rain to request the use of a second stand-in, which was denied since that is against the rules, resulting in the inevitable forfeit, leaving 5-Man Midas with a 2-0 for this series.
A 2-0 victory due to forfeit.
Second series today, E-Boys versus Felt. We had a long wait, and we're finally blessed with some great NA Dota. Both teams looking to take a very different approach in the draft, though. Electronic Boys prioritized a very split push and ganking-oriented lineup, whereas Felt picked a very heavy team fight lineup. Felt found some great early fights and gave themselves the lead they needed to deal with this pesky Broodmother. Electronic Boys tried their best to stay in this, but one lost team fight resulted in Roshan and Felt taking game 1 of this series.
Now he's going to try and make a run for it, but it is looking a bit too late. He'll drop as well.
In game 2, Felt decided to take the Broodmother for themselves with the last pick, and this game spiraled out of control very quickly with Yellow Flash on this Broodmother going 18-0, forcing one of the fastest GGs in the DPC so far at around 19 minutes. Felt now secured their first win of the lower division and are on their road to escaping relegation.
Yellow Flash is just way too far ahead. Onto the Viper now, Giant. He's going to try and run away, but he is completely surrounded.
Now we've made it to my favorite day of the week. It is Sunday. We get 3 games from the NA DPC, 2 from the upper division and 1 from the lower division. And oh my God, did we have a lineup. 4 Zoomers versus Simply 2-Based, Evil Geniuses versus Quincy Crew, and Arkosh Gaming versus Team Dogchamp. So let's start it off. We have 4 Zoomers versus Simply 2-Based. Game number 1. Zoomers have a really strong draft. They drafted for the lanes and they were off to a really good lead, but Simply 2-Based had some really good rotations and good pickoffs early, giving them a solid kill advantage. All the while, Sammy on the Wraith King was farming and managed to pick up a Midas Radiance at the 18-minute mark. He then began to snowball this game, pulling so far ahead that 2-Based had no real way of fighting into him, giving him an early win.
Gonna keep Monkeys alive a little bit longer, but it goes down nonetheless. And GG is called. Game 1 gonna go the way of the Young Gun.
Now in game 2, the Zoomers round out the draft with an anti-mage into 2-base Medusa. Basically a worst case scenario here for 2-base, as the AM had a really successful lane thanks to Husky's Abaddon and managed to take the top net worth position at just 11 minutes. From this point on, the Zoomers played a very slick game. They outfarmed and outplayed 2-base around the map to get them the eventual 2-0 win here in this series, and they now sit at 3-3 in the middle of Division 1.
Gunner is in. They're just cleaning up the 2-base squad. The Stampede finally comes out, and it is GG.
Now, in our second series, Evil Geniuses versus Quincy Crew, this has been considered to be one of the most anticipated series of the NA DPC. EG and Quincy Crew remain undefeated at 5-0 after the series earlier this week against Undying. Both teams are looking to secure their spot at the next Dota Major, and a win for EG would secure that, while a win for Quincy Crew could force a repeat of the Season 1 tiebreakers between EG, Quincy Crew, and Undying. Game 1 felt fairly close for a while, but EG's heroes were too difficult to bring down. Quincy Crew just lacked the damage to take fights late game into this Medusa and Centaur, as a couple pickoffs turned into 2 lanes of barracks, allowing EG to close out game 1 for a quick victory.
You are trying to lift pushback, turning on RTZ, the find for the kill. They're gonna lose both carries. Now Leslow has to get out of here.
Now in game number 2, it didn't disappoint at all. It was incredibly close, but it came down to one last team fight with both Yawar and RTZ carrying rapiers on the Luna and the Medusa. EG did manage to bring down that Medusa, dropping Yawar's rapier. RTZ picks it up. However, he bought back mid-toss animation.
You got this? I'll be back.
What?
Teleporting Yawar into the center of the team fight. A Reaper Scythe killed RTZ on the Luna. Both rapiers drop on the ground, and all the remaining members of EG fall to the damage of Quincy Crew. They tap out, tying up the series, giving Quincy Crew the win for 1-1.
Damage to the world, and Ice goes down to boot. Everybody's gone.
It got him again. It's 2021.
Now in game number 3, a really strong draft gave Quincy Crew the advantage, in my opinion. They went back to the Enchantress and Elder Titan support duo from last week, and they had equal success with it in this game. Gwen had a great game on the Leshrac, but Yawar joined him in that Starlight on the Sven. And as the game went on, it became clear that there was no answer to the damage from these two. Quincy Crew forced EG to contest Roshan and take a bad fight, allowing them to pick off 4 of EG's heroes and close out the series 2-1. This places Quincy Crew at the top of the NA DPC at 6-0, with their only loss being to Evil Geniuses here in this series.
Done now, onto Abed, and the control comes out. He will fall. RTZ turned upon next. He also goes down.
Now in our final series of the day, it's Arkosh Gaming versus Team Dogchamp, and it's such an important series here in the lower division. Arkosh needs a win in order to have an opportunity to advance to Division 1 in the following season, while a win for Dogchamp would guarantee D2 Hustlers and Dogchamp are both promoted instead. And in Game 1, Arkosh came out swinging. Canis Vulpes on the mid lane, Bristleback absolutely dominated this game. He managed to get so far ahead that Dogchamp had no way to fight into his hero. Goat on the Oracle had some vital saves, but he also managed to pick up 10 kills of his own. Arkosh took a very convincing Game 1 over Dogchamp, giving them a quick lead here in this series. Into Canis Vulpes, Beach has got his back turned. He doesn't care. 3 heroes already followed. The buyback comes in again from Elisa, and the damage from Canis. Now in game number 2, Arkosh does what they do best, and they go back to Clown Town, and they pick Pudge for Crow. Unfortunately for Arkosh, the bottom lane did not go their way at all. Luki's signature Pangolier rolled all over Arkosh. The mid lane was off to a good start for a bit for Canis Vulpes, but some serious overextensions in fights cost him several deaths. Dogchamp outperformed Arkosh in every fight and secured an equally impressive win, tying up this series 1-1, setting the stage for an amazing game 3. He gets the BKB off. He's able to take down that Abaddon and just TP out Goat. Not going to be as lucky. It's a triple kill for the TA. And what an absolute masterpiece game 3 was. Ray Lalisa was back on his TA, had another amazing performance. Arkosh hanging on by just a thread as multiple pickoffs forced them to remain inside their base and fall further and further behind. It seems this whole series came down to one single mistake, the TA, and a fantastic decision made by Arkosh to punish it. TA managed to assassinate the Oracle by astral projecting across the map, but with the BKB on cooldown, got clipped by a light strike array and dying back, forcing the TA to be out of the game for over 2 minutes. Arkosh used this time to rush the base in an epic battle for the throne, and with only seconds left, Arkosh take the game and the series, moving them now into 2nd place for the DPC. Focusing the throne, Arkosh, they want this win. They know this is their chance for Division 1, and Arkosh Gaming, they're doing it. They've taken the throne and they win the series. And that's going to do it for us here this week. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys think this is going to play out and what your predictions are going to be as we get to the end of the season. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, so I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. And I'll see you back here next week as we break down the 6th and final week of the NADPC. I'll see you next time.